Why women secretly love these 9 things more than money. Modern Stoic. You want to know what truly captivates a woman, what makes her remember a man long after he's left the room. It's not your bank account, it's not your car, it's not your success on paper. Sure, those things might get our attention, but they rarely keep it. What keeps us is something deeper, something most men overlook because they're too focused on impressing the world. While you're chasing titles, we're quietly drawn to the qualities that can't be bought. And once you understand this, these 9 emotional triggers, you'll stop competing with other men altogether. Because these aren't things you wear, drive, or post. They're things you are. Let me show you what they are, and why they matter more than money ever will. Number 1. Emotional leadership. Let me break a little secret to you, not from a place of strategy, but from a place of truth. Most women don't secretly wish for yachts or piles of gold. What they truly, deeply, and often quietly long for is your emotional leadership. That steady hand, that confident calm, that masculine spine that says, "I've got this." You see, while the world has been yelling about equality, and we nod and say yes, of course, something ancient still pulses in our hearts. We don't want to make every decision. We don't want to steer the ship alone. We are not craving dominance. We are craving trust, security, the quiet blessing of Stoicism. And it shows up not in your words, but in your choices when you lead, when you take the wheel, not with arrogance, but with clarity. You give us the one thing that money can't buy: emotional relaxation. That is the hidden treasure. We finally stop second-guessing. Our minds stop doing the mental gymnastics of "is he sure? Should I double-check?" We get to exhale, to melt, to fall into our softness because your firmness is there. The modern Stoic man doesn't run from responsibility. He welcomes it. And when you carry that weight, you free us to be what we want to be with you women, not warriors. But here's the problem. Most men today have confused passivity for kindness. They think being agreeable, always asking what we want, always letting us decide everything, makes them more lovable. Let me be blunt. It doesn't. It drains us. It flips the polarity. And suddenly, we're the ones hauling the emotional freight, making all the decisions, fixing the energy leaks. And it doesn't feel good. It's not sexy. It's not safe. Because while we may smile and nod and say thank you when you let us pick the restaurant again, deep down, we're sighing. Why won't he just take the reins? Don't be the man who thinks indifference equals love. Be the man who leads, not like a dictator, but like an anchor. Solve the little things, take charge when conflict strikes, make the plan and then invite us in. Own your presence, because when you do, you unlock a deeper layer in us, a response so old, so primal, it can't be faked or forced. We lean into you. We feel held. That's more valuable than diamonds. That's more powerful than a trust fund. That is emotional gold. The old Stoic understood this. He knew that calm in the storm was not weakness. It was mastery. Modern men, in chasing approval, have lost this core trait. The modern Stoic remembers. He doesn't abdicate leadership in fear of appearing controlling. He leads with strength and stillness. That stillness becomes our sanctuary. That presence becomes our peace. So no, we don't crave your money. We crave your grounding. We crave the strength that says, "Follow me. I've thought this through." And once you step into that role, once you reclaim your throne as emotional leader, not tyrant, not robot, but steady flame, we begin to rise in response. That is the gift of masculine leadership. That is the first glorious layer of power we secretly always instinctively want. Now you know. So don't shrink. Don't wait for permission. Be calm. Be clear. Be the blessing of Stoicism in a world of noise, because we notice, and we love it more than you know. Number 2, emotional mystery. Let me tell you something straight from the hearts of women who won't say it out loud, but feel it in their bones. We don't want you to spill everything all at once. That might sound strange. You've been told communication is key. Open up more, they said. Tell her how you feel, and sure, yes, vulnerability matters, but full transparency. Total emotional exposure, that is the fast lane to emotional boredom. Because here's the hard truth, a man who is too easy to read, who lays all his cards on the table too soon, doesn't feel like a treasure. We treat him like a manual. Flip through, read, set it down. And it's not because we're cruel, it's because we're wired for curiosity, not completion. Women are creatures of emotional rhythm. Our feminine energy craves tension, not chaos, but intrigue. That little tingle of not knowing exactly what you're going to say next or how you'll respond keeps us present. It keeps us invested. If we can predict your every reaction, if you're emotionally obvious, you become background noise. But if you carry yourself with a quiet, confident restraint, now we're leaning in. Now we're intrigued. And that tension, it feeds our desire more than any diamond ever could. But listen closely. This isn't about lying. Don't play games. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. This is the art of the controlled reveal. You share, but wisely. You express, but with precision. You don't emotionally dump every worry on or fear or childhood trauma on the second date. You hold a little back. You keep a little mystery. That is what the Stoic life teaches us. Stoicism isn't silence. It's strength and restraint. It's self-mastery. A man who controls his emotions isn't cold. He's magnetic. Because mystery isn't just attractive. It's addictive. When a woman is wondering about you, what you're thinking, how much you felt, what your story really is, she's engaged. When she's guessing, she's investing. That emotional investment is everything. It means she's inside the story, not outside of it. And once she's hooked, she will chase you, far more passionately than she ever chased a man who handed over his whole personality like a sales brochure. And here's the kicker, mystery by itself isn't enough. You must pair it with intentional attention. That's what sets the emotionally mysterious man apart from the emotionally unavailable one. Don't vanish. Don't ghost. Be present but unpredictable. Be warm but unreadable. Be kind but never needy. Let her feel your focus but never own it. Let her notice when your gaze lingers a second too long. And let her wonder why you pulled it away. Because that control, that elegant tension, that's what turns a woman's passing interest into full-blown obsession. This is a Stoic lesson most men never learn. Desire lives in the unknown, in the space between what she knows and what she hopes. It's the tension of the unanswered question. Don't rob her of that. Don't fill in every blank. Be a man who speaks with meaning, moves with purpose, and reveals his depths slowly, like chapters in a great novel. Never predictable. Never too easy. Just compelling enough to keep her turning the page. Be the mystery that stirs her. Be the story she can't stop reading. And remember, even in the age of oversharing, the man who masters Stoicism, who controls his reveal, who lives the Stoic life, is the one she'll crave long after the money's spent. If this message struck a chord, like the video, share it with a man who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more real Stoic wisdom. Let's raise the standard together. Comment to remember I am the mystery she can't stop thinking about. Drop that affirmation in the comments below to remind yourself and others of the power in presence, restraint, and emotional mastery. Number 3, controlled attention. This is the power most men underestimate. Attention, in today's world, is currency. In the sexual marketplace, it's more valuable than money, more intoxicating than luxury, more potent than charm. The average man gives his attention freely, like a man throwing pennies into the wind. Constant texts, likes, comments, desperate affirmations, always available, always seeking approval. That isn't power. That's a weakness. That's noise. Women read this for what it is, a signal of low value. It screams that your life is empty, your mission unclear, your time unguarded, but a man who practices controlled attention. That's a man who stands apart, a man who operates under Stoic principles, like Marcus Aurelius, is not moved by desperation or the need to be liked. He chooses where to place his energy. He chooses who gets his focus. He gives a little, then pulls back. He creates mystery. He creates desire. He creates value. And this restraint, this controlled withdrawal, it is magnetic. Just like a rare gem becomes more valuable with scarcity, your attention becomes more desirable the less it is handed out. Controlled attention flips the frame. You are no longer the pursuer. You are the one being pursued. She begins to lean in. She begins to wonder, and she begins to crave, not because you begged, not because you overextended, but because you didn't. That's the power of Stoic control. That's what Marcus Aurelius understood. He who angers you conquers you. And in the modern world, I'll add, he who controls his attention conquers her curiosity. You must become the man who chooses attention deliberately, who treats it as sacred, who guards it like treasure. Let her feel your presence, then let her feel your absence. Let her taste attention, then take it away. Do not give more than you mean. Do not seek her validation. Let her earn yours. You must become the storm with calm eyes. The mountain is unmoved by the wind. Controlled attention is not about manipulation. It's about mastery. Mastery of self. Mastery of your focus, mastery of your time. That mastery breeds confidence, and confidence breeds attraction. Let your attention be earned, not given. Let her chase what is scarce. Let her work for your validation. What she earns, she values. What is given freely, she disrespects. Stoic principles teach us not to react, but to respond with reason, purpose, and strength. In a world where men throw their time away for cheap dopamine, be the man who withholds, who protects his energy, who lives with intention. Don't drown her in affection. Don't chase. Don't beg. Be still. Be present. Then pull back. Create space. That space creates tension. That tension creates desire. And that desire builds power. Real power. Controlled attention isn't weakness. It's your secret weapon. Use it wisely, train it ruthlessly, guard it fiercely, and never forget. While money can buy a moment, controlled attention can build obsession. In her mind, in her heart, and in her soul. This is the way of the modern Stoic. This is how you master the game. This is how you win. Number 4. Dominant calm energy. Let's get this straight. Dominant calm energy isn't optional. It's essential. And if you think dominance means puffing your chest, raising your voice, or firing off opinions like a Twitter warrior, think again. That's not strength. That's noise. That's the boy trying to play man. A real dominance, the kind that women feel without you saying a word, is a quiet storm. It's the old Stoic sitting in the corner, watching the world burn and barely blinking. That's the blessing of Stoicism. Calm, grounded, unshakable. It's a power that doesn't perform, it simply is. You walk into a room and suddenly the air shifts, not because you demanded attention, but because your energy commanded it. You speak less, and somehow, everyone listens more. Here's the truth. Women are emotional detectives. When we don't just hear you, we read you in micro-expressions, one tone, the rhythm of your breath. We scan it all without even knowing we're doing it. And when your energy says, I'm in control of myself in this moment, our nervous systems relax, our hearts open, our guard lowers. You don't need to buy love or impress anyone with flash. When you embody calm dominance, you give us something far more valuable than money: emotional safety. And emotional safety, dear modern Stoic, is the drug we can't quit. Not diamonds, not dinners. It's knowing that if life punches hard, you won't flinch. If chaos erupts, you won't crumble. That's the man we want. That's the man we crave. That's the man who activates something deep and ancient inside us, the primal instinct to surrender to a protector we trust. But don't get it twisted. Safety doesn't mean passivity. We will test you. Yes, we will, not out of malice, but because we have to. It's instinctive. We poke to see if the calm is real or just a mask. We'll push your buttons, consciously or not, to check if your center holds. And when it does, when you don't lash out, don't fold, don't become needy or defensive, we fall harder. That's when respect deepens. That's when attraction roots itself in our bones. But crack under pressure, lose your cool, and the spell breaks. You become just another guy pretending. And we can smell pretending like smoke on cheap cologne. So, be the man whose stillness speaks louder than shouting. Be the one whose presence calms storms, not adds to them. That's the old Stoic way. That's the modern Stoic in practice. Not a robot, not emotionless, but emotionally disciplined, a master of himself, a lighthouse in a world of flickering lanterns. Understand this and you unlock something no luxury car, no six-pack, no bank account ever could. You become rare. And in a world that's addicted to noise, rare is irresistible. That's the blessing of Stoicism. That's the dominance that doesn't dominate, it attracts. And trust me, once we feel that, once we know you're built like that, we won't just admire you, we'll melt for you. Period. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 5. Frame control in conflict. Here's the test most men keep failing. And I mean face planting, again and again. It's not about money, looks, or what kind of car you drive. It's this: how do you act when she's emotional, unpredictable, or flat out storming? That's when your real value is measured. When we cry, snap, challenge, or poke at your boundaries, not because we hate you, but because we're unconsciously trying to feel you, we need to know, is this man solid or is he made of sand? Now pay attention, because this one separates the Stoic men from the scrambling boys. Weak men, men without internal grounding, get rattled. They argue back. They grovel. They chase peace like a dog begging for a treat. And in that moment, the spell breaks. Why? Because you just showed us your emotional frame is fragile, that you can be pulled, pushed, yanked around by feelings that aren't even yours. You lose your center, and in doing so, you lose our trust. But the man who's done his inner work, the one who's lived some Stoic life, practiced the Stoic lessons and doesn't flinch when the emotional weather turns ugly. He wins every time. That man doesn't ignore us, and he's not a robot. He listens, he watches, he stays grounded. His silence isn't avoidance, it's power. He doesn't collapse under pressure, he contains it. He doesn't rise to defend or fall to appease. He just is. Steady, clear-eyed, still. That's frame control, and it's rare. Don't confuse this with coldness. This is not aloof detachment. No, this is a deep, anchored presence. That kind of man feels everything, we know it. But he doesn't react to everything. He stays in the driver's seat of his emotions. And guess what? That is safety. That is strength. That is exactly the kind of energy we fall for, harder than any luxury you could ever buy. It's what makes a woman melt. Because suddenly, in the chaos, there's someone who doesn't add fuel to the fire. He holds the fire like a seasoned keeper. That's Stoicism in motion. That's a Stoic life embodied. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you can hold your frame, especially during our wildest moments, the more deeply we bond with you. We respect you more, trust you more, feel safe with you. Because now we know this man can handle the world. And if he can handle the world, he can definitely handle us. And yes, sometimes it will get loud, sometimes we'll cry, sometimes we'll test you with questions that make no sense at all. But every emotional wave we throw your way isn't designed to destroy you, it's to reveal you. You must understand this: emotional storms are not sabotage. They're subconscious invitations to rise. If you crumble, we know we're on shaky ground. But if you stand strong, not with cruelty, not with ego, but with presence, we will never forget you. You become the exception, the rare rock, the lighthouse in our storm. And here's the final trigger. The secret most men never unlock once you've proven you can hold that frame. Not just once, but consistently. You become the only man we see. You go from option to obsession. You become the one we brag about to our friends without ever saying your name. Not because you're rich, not because you're flashy, but because you're stoic in the moments that matter most. That's a treasure more valuable than gold. That's what we really want. And we'll never say it out loud. But trust me, we know exactly what we're looking for. Number 6, a purpose bigger than us. Let this sink in. The ultimate attraction isn't money, looks, or charm. It's purpose. A man without purpose is like a ship without a compass, adrift, weak, forgettable. But a man with a mission becomes unstoppable. When you live for something greater than yourself, you become a force of nature. A modern Stoic understands this truth. He doesn't chase validation. He builds. He doesn't beg for attention. He earns respect. Women aren't drawn to men who orbit them. They're magnetized by men who are already moving with power, momentum, and vision. They don't want to be your purpose. They want to witness your purpose. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of discipline and wisdom, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the heart of Stoic principles. Don't talk, act. Don't obsess over relationships. Pursue greatness. A man on a mission doesn't crumble when love is absent, because he is already full. His craft fills him. His ambition feeds him. His values guide him. That's what creates gravity, and that's what pulls people into your orbit without you having to chase. Women don't fall for desperation, they fall for direction. Don't become needy. Don't make her your goal. Make your purpose the goal. And if she's the right one, she'll follow. This is the paradox of masculine power. When you center your life around her, you lose your edge. You lose your magnetism. But when your life is already complete, she sees a man worth following. And when a woman sees you striving, building, leading, She trusts you. She supports you. She admires you. And that admiration breeds loyalty you can't buy with money. Purpose is rarer than wealth, and it's more powerful. Anyone can throw cash around, but only a few men live with conviction. Only a few men stand for something. Be one of those men. Be the rare one. Live like a lion among sheep. Let's be clear, comfort is nice, but comfort won't make her stay. Meaning will, and meaning comes from doing what matters, from grinding for something real, from standing up every morning with fire in your eyes and steel in your soul. This is the way of the Stoic. This is the way of the modern man. Follow Stoic principles. Read Marcus Aurelius. Live your code. Don't bend it for anyone. Because a woman can sense when a man is weak inside, even if he's smiling on the outside. She wants to trust you, to believe in you, to join your cause. But that only happens when you're already walking your path. So here's your call to action. Lock in. Get serious. Master your mission. Don't give your soul away for affection. Don't abandon your edge. Don't soften your purpose. Stand tall. Live with relentless focus and speak less. Build more. Get obsessed with the mission that outlives you. That is where your power lies. That is when you become truly attractive. That is when you win. Not just in love, but in life. Be stoic, be solid, be undeniable. Be the man she can follow, not the man who follows her. Purpose is real wealth, and the men who chase it are the ones who conquer. 7. Confidence without arrogance. Confidence is an undeniably magnetic trait, but it's vital that it doesn't morph into arrogance. Confidence, when paired with humility, creates a rare and powerful allure. It's about knowing your worth without needing to shout it from the rooftops or seek validation at every turn. That's where the modern Stoic comes in, a man who understands that his value doesn't need to be constantly affirmed by others. Women find this quiet, self-assured confidence irresistible. The old Stoic philosophy teaches us to be confident in our actions and decisions, not because we need approval, but because we've already decided who we are. This is exactly what draws women in, the strength that comes from being grounded in one's own self-belief without the need to prove it. It's not about boasting. It's about knowing that your actions speak louder than words. When you live this way, you create an aura of respect and admiration around you. But here's the catch. Arrogance doesn't work. Arrogance masks insecurity and shows a desperate need for others to acknowledge your worth. It's the opposite of confidence. Women can easily sense the difference, and they're not fooled. Arrogance reeks of fragility, while true confidence is built on a foundation of self-respect. That's why the Blessing of Stoicism teaches us that inner peace and calm strength are far more attractive than any show of bravado. Be confident, but also be humble. That's the secret to deep connection and attraction. Never forget, women don't need to hear you brag. They need to see your strength in your actions, your steadiness, your ability to stand firm in your beliefs without trying to prove a point. It's the modern Stoic approach to life, where you understand that your worth doesn't need external validation. This is a quality that transcends superficiality. So be a man who stands tall in his own skin without needing constant recognition, and you'll find that women are drawn to you like a moth to a flame. When you balance that strength with humility, you're not just attracting attention. You're earning respect, admiration, and a deep connection that goes far beyond surface-level interest. 8. Emotional availability. Emotional availability is an often overlooked yet incredibly powerful quality that women secretly find irresistible, far more than any financial wealth. You may think that showing vulnerability is a weakness, but the truth is, it takes a great deal of strength and emotional maturity to be able to open up and share your feelings. This is where the lessons of Stoicism come in. Stoic life isn't about suppressing emotions, but learning to express them with wisdom and control. It's not about being a robot who shuts down all feelings, nor is it about wearing your heart on your sleeve all the time. It's about striking that delicate balance, where you are neither too closed off nor too emotionally explosive. Women don't want a man who hides behind a wall of stoic detachment, nor do they want one who overflows with emotion at every turn. They want someone who can show vulnerability when it matters, who's capable of saying, "I'm going through something right now," or "this is how I feel," without hesitation or fear of being judged. When you embrace this, you create an environment of trust and intimacy, where a deeper connection can flourish. Imagine the power in simply saying, "I don't have all the answers, but I'm here with you." That's a statement built on emotional availability. It says, "I'm real, I'm human, and I'm not afraid to let you see that part of me." You don't need to spill your entire heart out on the regular, but being able to share honestly and openly when it counts shows a profound level of emotional intelligence that is rooted in Stoicism. The Stoic lessons teach us that emotional control isn't about suppression, but about harnessing our emotions in a way that doesn't overwhelm us. Women deeply value this trait because it signals emotional maturity. They want someone who is strong enough to process their emotions without letting them dictate every decision. And you don't have to be perfect at it. The mere willingness to share is a monumental step in creating a deeper bond. Remember, being emotionally available isn't about oversharing or being constantly in a state of emotional turmoil. It's about having the courage to show up with your feelings in an honest and healthy way. Too often, men think they must keep their emotional lives a secret, but this only builds walls instead of bridges. The Stoic life teaches us that silence doesn't equate to strength. True strength lies in being able to communicate your thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. When you're emotionally available, you create the opportunity for a woman to feel emotionally safe around you, to let her guard down and connect with you in ways that go beyond superficial attraction. Incorporating this into your life isn't about overthinking or forcing vulnerability. It's about letting your authentic self show when the situation calls for it. Don't hide behind false bravado. Be the kind of man who is comfortable expressing himself without fearing judgment or rejection. Stoicism isn't about avoiding emotion. It's about mastering it, knowing when to share, how to share, and doing it with the wisdom that comes from understanding your own emotions. Women are naturally drawn to men who can navigate this balance. The ability to be emotionally available means that you've reached a level of maturity and inner strength that very few possess. Don't let fear of being vulnerable keep you from building a connection that could be life-changing. Embrace the Stoic lessons that help you become stronger, more self-aware, and above all, deeply emotionally available. 9. Strong work ethic. A woman's attraction is often rooted in qualities that run deeper than superficial gestures, more profound than money or material wealth. What truly draws her to a man is the combination of strength, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to his life's purpose. Among the most crucial of these qualities is a strong work ethic. This is not just about earning a paycheck or climbing the corporate ladder, but about a man's resilience and unwavering dedication to whatever he puts his mind to. When you work hard, when you push through the grind, You show more than just ambition. You reveal your character. Women aren't just attracted to a man with a paycheck. They're attracted to a man with passion, drive, and the determination to not just achieve but to excel. They want to see a man who faces challenges head-on, refuses to back down, and pushes beyond his limits. "The obstacle is the way," said Marcus Aurelius, and this Stoic principle rings true in today's world more than ever. A man who works tirelessly, who doesn't shy away from struggle but embraces it, gives a woman something priceless: security. It's not the security of money or comfort that she's after, but the emotional assurance that he will stand firm, weather any storm, and always rise to the occasion. You must understand that hard work is the ultimate sign of a man who has control over his own life. Women recognize this, and they respect it. They see the potential for a future with a man who possesses the drive to succeed and the strength to keep going when things get tough. That is the kind of man worth investing in emotionally. Don't settle for mediocrity. You must cultivate a relentless work ethic. This is what modern Stoic philosophy teaches. Keep striving, keep improving, and keep your focus on the greater purpose, not the fleeting distractions. It's not just about working harder, but about working smarter, staying disciplined, and never letting the fear of failure hold you back. You have the power to shape your destiny, and in doing so, you'll make yourself irresistible to those who recognize true strength. A man's work ethic isn't just a reflection of his career. It's a reflection of his entire approach to life. When you're driven by purpose, when you're relentlessly pursuing your goals, that energy radiates and becomes magnetic. Women gravitate toward men who are not only successful, but who are also in constant motion, constantly striving for improvement, and who are willing to put in the work to get what they want. And that, ultimately, is what women love far more than money. That is the essence of the Stoic mindset: resilience, perseverance, and never yielding in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius himself said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." So, go ahead, put in the work. Don't just talk about your goals, take action. Keep building, keep growing, and keep striving. Show the world, and most importantly, the women around you, that your hard work is the cornerstone of everything you are. This is how you become a man of value, a man who is unstoppable. And that is how you win, not just in business, but in love and life. If you believe that a strong work ethic is more powerful than money in building lasting connections, drop a comment right now. I am the man who conquers through hard work. Like this video, subscribe for more empowering insights. And remember, true strength is not just in what you achieve, but in how you stay committed to the grind. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this video has shed some light on what truly resonates with women beyond just money. Remember, it's not about flashy gestures or material things. It's about becoming a man who leads with emotional intelligence, calm confidence, and an unshakable sense of purpose. Confidence without arrogance, emotional availability, and strong work ethic. So, take a moment to really reflect on these 9 triggers. If you can master emotional leadership, maintain control of your energy, and align yourself with a purpose bigger than yourself, you're well on your way to becoming the kind of man who captivates on a deeper level. Don't just focus on impressing, focus on evolving. Take it from me. These are the qualities that create lasting, meaningful connections. Money fades, but true leadership, purpose, and emotional depth, that's the stuff that makes us choose you, not just once, but over and over again. Until next time, take care and stay focused on what really matters. See you soon.